Does this guy look familiar to you? His name's Kevin Crowther, and his Father of the Bride speech has 5 million views. It's called the greatest Father of the Bride speech ever. I've never seen it, so I thought I should take a look at it. Why don't we watch it together, and let's see if we can break down why it's so hugely successful.
All right, congratulations. Raise your glasses. Toast to them. That's it. Yeah. That's what Sarah wanted me to do, but that's not going to happen tonight, unfortunately. And before I get to you guys, I got a few things I got to get to, a few housekeeping things. First and foremost, welcome to everybody here to come spend this time with us and come from the distances some of you did is so special to us. I'm kind of blown away. I mean, I realize I have a great daughter. I wasn't too sure about Trevor, but obviously he's a good kid too because there's so many people here. So thank you guys. For my beautiful wife, Chris, and myself, Steve and Cherie, we just wanted to thank you guys all for coming out here tonight. We appreciate it. Hope you're having a good time.
Look what he's just done there. We're not even a minute in. We're probably not even 30 seconds in. He has thanked everyone for being there. He's acknowledged his wife, which is always a good idea. Please, if you're writing Father of the Bride speech, don't forget to mention your wife. It's a very long, quiet ride home if you do. But he's welcomed everyone, and he's acknowledged the effort that it takes to get there, because weddings are great and they're wonderful to go to, but sometimes it takes some effort, and it does take some money too. So that not only is that gracious as the host of the day, but boy, you're just softening up that audience. That audience feels seen and heard and smart as a performer and smart as a host.
And it's going to get better, so we'll keep going. Yes, to them. And also everybody that helped setting things up and getting us here where we got tonight. This has been, let me tell you something, this is 3 times as much work as it is putting on a Supercross race on Saturday night. So we will never, Brittany, we are not doing this again. So I'll see you in Vegas.
Real comfortable in front of a crowd. Good for him.
Just a quick note, Mark introduced himself earlier, obviously, and great job, Mark. Thank you for coming out. Great job. And like Mark said, give it up. Mark and I have been friends since about the 5th or 6th grade and go back a long ways. And it was just an honor to have Mark out here tonight to do this. It meant a lot to me, Sarah. Thank you, Trevor. Mark, I had to pay them to let you do it, but the only issue I have is Mark did make a mistake, and he talked about it. And the reality is, I'm an only child. I have 2 daughters. I'm the end of the Crowther name. So Trevor and I had an agreement that he would take our last name and be a Crowther, and I knew that this was going to happen. So I took it upon myself to go to the clerk's office this week and get the marriage certificate changed. So basically the marriage of Sarah and Trevor, it says, by entering into this contract, Trevor Netz, the groom, agrees to change his family name to Crowther. Both parties hereby agree that from this day forward, they will be known as and referred to as the Crowthers.
He's got a prop. He's got Photoshop. He's not afraid to use it.
That is certified by the FOB, and that would be me. It is signed. It's a real document. So
people are loving it. They're having fun.
Okay.
And by the way, I won't keep interrupting. Well, I will, but not as often. But for all of you who say, do I have to memorize my speech? This video, how many views does it have? 5 million views. What's that in his hand? He has notes. It's okay. You don't have to memorize it. You can bring notes up with you.
Also, I know obviously this is about them. This is my toast to Trevor and Sarah. But as you can see by those little shot glasses, we're going to drink a few more times than just once throughout this. So I hope everybody's got enough in front of them for it. And just the last thing before I get to Trevor, I am allergic to alcohol. So if you see my eyes tearing up, or if I have to stop and gather myself like what happened earlier down there, it's because we did shots before I walked out there. So if you see that, it's got nothing to do with any of this stuff. I'm allergic to alcohol. So keep that in mind.
Gives a reason that he's going to cry. Something to refer back to.
Okay. Trevor. Obviously, this is a great day for Trevor, and you have all these friends here, and obviously by the size of the wedding party, you're well loved, and I think we only had to bail out 2 people to be here tonight, right? You right? The food was good, a lot better than what you've had, huh? Yeah. So, well, we'll get you back by Monday. Obviously, Trevor, you are a testament to your parents and what a great job, and your brothers, Steve and Cherie, what a great job they did raising you guys. So my first toast tonight is to Steve and Cherie.
Smart.
Smart.
Love to the in-laws.
Because they raised a son that is good enough for my daughter.
Great punchline also. And you can't lay it on thick enough. You're going to see these people at Christmas.
So thank you very much.
And he's a great kid.
I got to give it to Trevor also, because Trevor actually even asked for my approval in this, which is a pretty classy move, especially nowadays. And it really surprised me that he did it. But the only problem I had with it is I got a text message. Did I not get a text message? What did I get before the phone call? But that did mean a lot to me, in especially in today's day and age. And Trevor is a classy guy.
I get asked all the time about how to add humor to your speech, and what he's doing now is exactly what I tell them. Truth. Truth is funny. Truth is honesty is raw, and it's relatable, and it's generally funnier than anything you can make up, and it's for sure funnier than any corny joke you're going to steal or pay for off the internet. He used the truth of a text being the beginning of how the groom asked for his daughter's hand in marriage. It's perfect.
One thing about Trevor, though, is I'm kind of on to you now. I've got it figured out. We always talk about Sarah is in control and has a plan, but I didn't realize that Trevor actually had a plan all along. He met her a long time ago, and I think Trevor realized right away, especially after he met me, that he wanted to be a part of this family.
Self-awareness, truth. So
Trevor had a plan, and he put it into play way back in middle school. You're a great guy, right? You're honest, trustworthy. Trevor was into trucks. Trevor bought a Jeep Wrangler. Trevor bought a motorcycle. He was riding motorcycles and dirt bikes and quads. Trevor joined the military, went off to the Air Force. And to some of you, that might sound a little familiar. It sounded really familiar to me. So, I'm sorry, I lost my son. I'm so excited about Trevor.
So, made a mistake, just wrote it out, made a joke, found his place, and he'll be right back into it.
I need another shot on that one. Yeah. But for Trevor, you did join the service, so you went all in on this one. So here's to Trevor, his service to the United States. So we have a lot of other ex-military and current military folks in here tonight. Thank you for your service. Appreciate it.
Always something great to acknowledge, especially with a lot of military people in the room. Daughter of a U.S. Navy vet.
Now, the only problem I have with that is I get a text message and I tell them, yeah, I got time for a phone call. Let me get a bottle of Jack Daniels and I'll go sit in my Jeep. Call me back. So we have the conversation. I give him my blessing because, I mean, what's not to love about the guy? But shortly after that, he knows he can't sell the Jeep because that would be too obvious. So he burns it down in his driveway.
So obviously something's happened, but truth is getting laughs. Not even embellishing it. Truth.
He did sell the motorcycle, though. But obviously, he's still in the military. You didn't think that one through, did you? No. So you're still chucking along there. But the reality is, none of that's important to me. And I give you credit for going to that extent of trying to become me to get her. But that's not what it was all about. For me, I think what was important is the way that Sarah looked at you, the way she talked about you, the way that you treated her, even when you thought I wasn't around. There's a lot of times I was around when you didn't think I was. And that was the important stuff. It was really made me know that. And I know in the bottom of my heart that you are going to treat her right. And not because I got a bunch of guns at home, but because of that beautiful mama bear right there. So you don't want to go there, buddy. Oh, and I'm not done yet.
Also got to acknowledge what a great job the photographer's doing, getting the reaction of the bride and the groom and intercutting.
Once they got engaged, I've had a lot of people ask me what I thought about Trevor, especially folks that don't know Trevor, people I work with and stuff come up to me. Well, what do you think about it? And I always preface my answer with, I would never tell him this, but. So tonight I'm going to tell you, buddy.
Now, if I had to make one little criticism, and again, 5 million people can't be wrong. He's doing a great job. The crowd is loving him. We are, looks about halfway through. Haven't heard anything about his daughter yet. I assume he is going to rectify that in the second half of the speech. But if I was his daughter, I might be sitting there going, that's great. But, I'm the kid. Nothing wrong with giving Trevor a lot of love. Just I hope he gives the same amount to his daughter.
It's what I think of Trevor is if Sarah was to come to me and say, Dad, there's just too many guys out there. I need you to pick the perfect guy for me. Trevor, it would have been you, buddy. That's what I think about you. And you ask anyone out here, that's a true story. So, Trevor, last thing I got to thank you, Boone. I love you, and welcome to the Crowther clan, bud.
Welcome to the family. Perfect. Always a nice thing to actually say.
We're in it too.
Sarah told me I had to cut out of this, so I had to cut some of you guys out of this thing. You guys are just irrelevant to this whole night.
Heckled by the groom's
Sarah,
party.
my sweet dear Sarah.
Made the switch. Okay.
This is the part where I'm supposed to get all sappy and tell you stories about when we were growing up and how I let her paint my toenails and we played with Barbies, but none of that happened. So we're not going there.
Truth. Laughter.
I was told by Marina that I need to talk about her. So Marina, see, it said your name.
I don't know if that's mom
Actually,
or
the
sister.
reality is if there was one other person that I would trust and want to marry my daughter, it would be Marina.
Is that maid of honor, maybe?
And that is a true statement also. But only so I could drink tequila with Kyle for the rest of my life. How am I doing?
Well,
Sarah,
maybe it's going a little long, but
see, Sarah's just like her mother. And actually, to tell the truth, there are 3 generations of controlling, planning, women here tonight. So thank you guys for being here. Fortunately for me, when I was courting my beautiful bride, she hid it very well, so I never saw it. But Sarah, you haven't hidden anything from Trevor. So that, folks, is true love right there. And that's why I know this is going to last, because Sarah has been wide open the whole time.
He did a great job in the first half, and I'm sure he's going to do a great job in the second half. But he did a great job with Trevor of, poking him a little bit and then just giving him a lot of love. So giving him a compliment, poking him a little bit, giving him a compliment, poking him a little bit. So far, the stuff with Sarah is a little more pokey than lovey, but I'm sure he's going to change that. But if you're writing your speech, just make sure that that is in balance.
Now, I'm not saying that's bad or anything, but Sarah has a plan for everything. She's in control of everything. I know we all know this. We've talked about it already. When Sarah was growing up, when it was time for Sarah to get out of diapers, Sarah had a plan. Sarah made the date, and that's the plan we went by. And when we got to that date, on came the pull-ups, because she had a plan at an early age. And as far as her marriage and this wedding and Trevor, Sarah had a plan. And I think at one point you told Trevor, "Don't ask me to marry you." She said, "Don't ruin this, because I got a plan, and that's not the plan yet. So don't ask me. I'll let you know when that's the plan, but it's not yet." And thank goodness it finally happened. So. Now, as far as Sarah's controlling and her plans and everything that she does, that's not always a bad thing. Obviously, this wedding has been a beautiful event, and most of that, probably 99% of that, is because she is such a planner and a control freak. So, with an assist from her mom on it. I love you, Ben. I think the only plan that Sarah has ever really screwed up in her life has been our Verizon data plan. Started out at 2 gigabytes for our data plan. Then we needed 6. Now we're at 12. 3 days before the end of this month, I got the email. You're out of data. 12 gigabytes. And I think 10 of it was her. So Trevor, that nice truck you got parked up there, you might need to sell that so she can update her Netflix and Facebook and whatever they do. They're out there tweeting stuff. So be prepared for that, because starting Monday, she is on your phone plan, buddy.
Great joke. I am hoping that he's going to give us some positive examples, funny ones, but positive examples of how her planning makes her good at what she does now.
Obviously, I have 2 beautiful daughters, and everybody thinks having daughters is such a great thing, especially they're so much better than boys and all that stuff. But let me tell you something. Having daughters as a father, it's not always easy. There's a lot of pressure on a father to do the right thing for his kids. I mean, you bring him home from the hospital and you don't want to drop her on her head. And I think twice for you. We were really careful with Brittany because she was first, but unfortunately, by the time we got to Sarah, things weren't so planned out. There are the times that you have to get them ready to school, and you're trying to put pretty ponytails on a third grader that's screaming at you, and just because you're the dad and they're your little girl, and you want them to look up to you and be proud of you. The whole tooth fairy thing drove me crazy. Where I didn't realize my military training was going to come in handy when I had daughters, where you belly crawl into the bedroom in the middle of the night. You sneak up there and you're trying to replace the tooth with the money like you're in an Indiana Jones movie.
Truth. Very funny.
All the while, just not wanting her to wake up and just ruin her for life that her dad is a tooth fairy. There's a lot of pressure.
Still kind kind of waiting for the positive example of her planning ability.
What's that?
It's seeming like he's kind of riffing.
What is happening?
We're just telling him keep moving, keep moving.
Wow.
Not quite sure what just happened.
I am really sorry about that, parents. But let me tell you about Santa Claus.
Oh, right. Just ruin
Wait a minute.
the tooth fairy.
When I wrote the speech, Sarah told me there were no kids invited. So.
Yeah, that's
We're
the
almost done,
second
Sarah.
time his daughter's giving him the
We're
wrap
almost
up.
done.
If you're giving your
Oh,
speech
where
and
was
you're
I?
getting that sign, do it. Do it. There can be too much of a good thing.
All right, so
You don't want the
basically
third bowl
having
of ice
daughters,
cream.
especially Sarah, the pressure of it was just the pressure of making her proud of me as a father, and she was my little girl. So
Yeah, seems like he was riffing
okay,
and he's
let's get serious again.
doing well, but because
And
he
Sarah,
maybe
throughout all the years,
he maybe had some bullet points, but he didn't have his speech written out at any point, not just before he got up there. It looks like he's probably got notes, and that's exactly what they are, just sort of notes. So, 5 million views, people are laughing, he's giving a wonderful speech. It will be remembered well, but maybe a little bit of a lesson if you're planning a wedding speech. That's what can happen when you have bullet points. You can really be on point for a while and just like getting those ideas out as fast as you can. And sometimes your mind will wander, you'll get distracted, or you'll get a couple of shots in you and you sort of start meandering. And so that might be a reason to sort of script things out fully before you get up there. You don't have to have it word for word memorized, but just if he had something that was really written out in his hand that he could go back to when he felt that maybe he was sort of going off, that would help him find his way back, maybe that would be a good thing. But again, he's doing a great job. I can see why people love watching this. Let's watch the dismount.
you have given me so much to cherish, and so I did that
There's the
shot,
tears.
and so much to be proud of.
From the heart. Come on, everyone.
And so much to be proud of. But tonight, I think you've given me something that goes beyond everything. You've given me a son.
I mean, it's a great line.
And I'm not done yet. The last thing, well, one of the last things
Balances
is
that a little bit.
the only problem I have now, and it's okay because I'm a problem solver, is Trevor. They're going to go on their honeymoon. Trevor's going to come over to the house and he's going to load up all of Sarah's prized possessions, her signed Ryan Dungey jersey, all your hotel keys that I brought home from every trip I went on, the chinchillas. Actually, I do not have a problem with that one. They're all yours, buddy. And then he's going to move her 1,302 miles away from Pickerington, Ohio. That's the only problem I got. So what I did, since I am a problem solver, is thanks to the help of my friend, Lieutenant Commander Tommy Jacobson, sitting right there, we were able to pull some strings. And what I have in this packet right here for Trevor Crowther
Is that real?
This is a new set of orders for Trevor. These are orders to U.S. Air Force Recruiting Station 369, located at 3492 Broad Street in Columbus, Ohio.
Sounds pretty real. You just get him transferred.
Welcome home, buddy. Thank you, Tommy. Appreciate you pulling the strings on that one.
I mean, he's got 5 million views. If it wasn't kosher to do, then someone would be in trouble. So.
I'm going, honey. I'm
Good for
done.
you.
I'm wrapping it up right now.
Oh boy.
So in closing,
Mom's doing this
in
too.
closing, the reality is, Sarah, I couldn't be more proud of the woman that you've become in
Good line.
everything that you've done, and we're here tonight. If I can only change one thing, I can't look at you when I'm doing this. If I can only change one thing, I would just turn the clock back so we could just do this whole fun ride we've had over one more time. And Trevor,
More on Trevor.
you have been fully vetted by the Crowther clan. In Ebright, vetted means fully researched and background checked. So, just about that. And just, oh, have you? Okay, thank you. And I am so proud of you and the man you've become, and I am honored to call you son. So thank you.
Is he going to say an actual please
since
raise your
I-
glass? Yes, he did that earlier.
Since I ruined the tooth fairy and I had to drink that other shot, I don't have one left. So raise your glasses, please.
There you go. Don't forget the actual toast. It
To
lets people know
my
it's
two
over.
favorite people in this tent right now. Honey, I love you, but right now they're my favorites. To Trevor and my beautiful daughter, Sarah, congratulations.
What do you think? Does it live up to its name? Was it the greatest father of the bride speech ever? I think it was very, very good. I think everyone in the room was happy. I think it's going to be remembered beautifully, and 5 million people love it, so who am I to criticize? I think he ticked all the boxes. I always say there's 6 parts of a wedding speech. You want the intro, thanks and acknowledgments, talk about your half of the couple, the other half of the couple as a unit and why they're great, and then a big fat toast. He did all 6 of those things. If you like watching these speech reviews, hit subscribe because we're going to be doing a lot more of them.